What I need is for you to pull up your big girl panties, okay? I'm going to show you some marketing ideas, my actual ideas, and they have my company's name on it. They didn't want me to do that, but I wanted to do that, and I know that you all can see my company name and not want to do it because we're all happy where we are. Just insert your company name when you see my company name, okay?
Okay.
But I wanted to show the real thing so you could see what I really did, okay? Now, I better explain. I just said idea, and you're probably thinking, what's that? I'm from New Hampshire, and we say mother, father, sister, and brother. We had to do something with those R's, so we put it on the end of idea. Okay? But I know all y'all call it what? IDEA. Idea, right? Okay. So, the other thing we do, I don't know, is this considered the South here?
Yes.
Yeah, so y'all say, you can say whatever you want as long as you follow it with, and bless her heart.
Yeah.
And you knew that was coming, right? In New Hampshire, we say something a little bit different than that. So if you hear me say it now, you'll know. You can say anything you want as long as you say, and I mean that in the best possible way. Okay? So here we go. Next slide, please. This is where I spent 18 years, single-wide trail in a trailer park with husband number 2. Yes, I have to number them now, like a football team. I'm good at some stuff, being married ain't one of them. No, and I'm happy single right now, because I had to release them back into the wild. I released them. Okay? It's okay. Now, you know, there's nothing wrong with living in a trailer park. Nothing at all. I lived there for 18 years, 12 wide, 12 by 70. Nothing wrong with that. But I'll tell you what, I didn't grow up as a little girl going, ooh, I hope I get to live in a trailer park. You know, I didn't. I want to be rich. I wanted a lot of money. So what I want to do is get out of the trailer park. Now, I want to tell you how I came up with the ideas I use. So these ideas themselves may not be things that you'll like or do, but it's how I got them that I'm hoping you'll get something out of, okay? And matter of fact, I'm standing here waiting for this because I brought proof with me that these ideas work. My whole thing was that I heard, the next slide, you can be as successful at anything if enough people know who you are and what you do. And I believe that, and that has worked out for me. Now, when I first started selling, I'm actually an Avon lady. When I first started selling in my little town of Ware, New Hampshire, there were 6,600 people in my town. There were already 15 Avon representatives. Okay. Now, I could have said, oh, there's no way I'm going to do anything. It's saturated. Haven't you heard that word before? Yeah. I could have just said, oh, forget this. I'm not going to do it. Right? Instead, I decided to say, I'm going to convince everybody that I'm the only one. I'm just going to convince everybody that I'm the only one. So some of the marketing ideas I'm going to show you were because of that. And this is my proof that this stuff works. So what I did was I started, the next slide please. You start with a 10-mile radius and then make it bigger as you get known. So my whole thing is, if you go to Ware, New Hampshire today, and you walk up to anybody there, and you say, who sells Avon in this town? If they don't say me, I'll give you 20 bucks. And there's still 14 other Avon representatives in my little dinky town, and everybody thinks it's just me. Now, this is proof right here. Husband number 2, remember we number him? When we moved out of the trailer park, his business was called W&W Buildings. He built sheds, and it said, this is a bill, it said W&W Buildings. The people that bought our trailer wrote on there, no longer at this address, deliver to Avon Lady. Right? No last name. It said W&W Buildings, no last name, they brought it to me. Right? Right? This is proof. This stuff works. Okay, now you got to start with what you got. So when I lived in the 12 by 70 trailer, next slide please, I drove a Yugo. You heard of the Yugos?
Yes.
When there's more than one in it, they call it a Wego. Remember these, right? Now, People said to me from my own company, you shouldn't be allowed to drive such a crappy car. But you know what? The customers didn't say that. You know what the customer said? Oh, honey, if I buy an extra lipstick, baby, you can go get a real car one day. So the customers love this. Matter of fact, customers I have today remember and tell me stories about how their husband helped push start it one day and stuff like that, because I had to do that all the time. But nice car. You know how I came up with the idea of putting the signs on it, though? I was sitting around in my trailer thinking, I need to do this full time. I need to get some money, because husband number 2 things was never earning money. That wasn't his thing. So I needed to get some money. Bless his heart. And now I mean that in the best possible way. So I went outside, I looked outside, there was an oil delivery truck. And I went up to it and I thought, hey, this got a sign on it. I felt it with my hand and I realized it was stickers. And I went, hey, I could put stickers on my car. So I went and bought stickers. This is like 1987. I didn't realize that you could have a sign company do it. I just bought the letters at the office supply and stuck them on the car. Okay? You wouldn't believe how much business I get from this. You would not believe. Now, you know that sign on the roof? Where do you think I got that idea from?
Pizza.
Pizza, yes! Yes, yes, yes. And you know, at that time, you'll notice this pizza sign has straps on it. It's strapped to the roof. Right? Now they got magnets, they're good. But this one, I saw the pizza guy in the next town over. He had the pizza sign on his pickup truck, right? And he was peeling the letters off. He was taking it off his truck. And he said, I'm taking this off. I said, hey, how much is that? Can I buy that? He said, I don't like this thing. It makes a bunch of noise. I said, listen, I'm driving a Yugo. I won't hear a thing. Right? He charged me like $75. I changed it to say the name of the company and my phone number. And I used it for years and years and years. And it lights up. It's really cool. You know what's neat about it though? Out in my rural town of Ware, you can't hear what they're saying when you drive by, but we don't have pizza delivery enough, and we still don't. But you can see people standing there going. So it works. People remember me because of the car. Now, what's funny, okay, so after this car, I used this for a lot of years, but I did a lot of fairs and flea markets, and I dreamed of having a big van. So this is the actual, I'm a visual person, so I need to see it. This is actually my little van that I got and painted it with whiteout from my desk and wrote Avon on it. That's right, because that's what I wanted. So the next slide, please. This was the van I bought that replaced the Yugo. Okay. Now this van, doesn't that look nice?
Yeah.
We bought this van secondhand, actually. And you know what? I loved this van for like a year and a half. I loved it. Lived for a year and a half. And then, you know what started happening? Let's see if I can describe this. Have you seen the movie Uncle Buck?
Yes.
Right, so I go to the flea market. I pull up into my spot, shut the key off, close my eyes because I know what's coming. Bam! Everybody in the whole flea market hits the deck. It was so embarrassing after a while driving it when it backfired like that. But what's funny is, so the policeman runs over, I'm in my spot at the flea market, right? The policeman runs over, and I thought, oh. I think backfiring is like illegal, right? You're not supposed to do that, right? And I didn't have the money to fix it, so he says, what was that? And I went, oh, them damn onions. I didn't know what to do. So after the van, my big step up, next slide please, this was my first new car.
Woo!
And you know what's funny, by this point I was already earning probably 10 times what I ever earned before in my life. My biggest job before this, I was a secretary, and then before that, I worked third shift at a convenience store. So I was already earning good money. But this car has the distinction of being the last car the dealer made my husband sign for. Can you imagine that? He wasn't working, and they made him sign for the note. That was the last time that happened. So I wanted to show you that. And after this one, I drove this for about 6-7 years. And then the next slide, please. This was my PT Cruiser.
Woo! Love that.
This was my first car wrap. And I saw another car. I saw a PT Cruiser car wrap in Las Vegas for Coca-Cola. And I said, ooh, I gotta have that. Now, I was even on the cover of a magazine with this one. Okay, so if you're gonna spend a bunch of money doing these things, make sure you do as much mileage out of it as you can. I use mine in parades. Okay, I use it on lawns when I'm doing events. I use it everywhere. I get lots of business out of this. Okay. Now, the next slide. This is what I'm driving now. So it's another car wrap. I love the car wrap. And you know what's funny? On all these vehicles I've done, guess what the number one question? Everyone asks the same thing. They run up to me. Everyone asks the same thing. You want to guess what they ask? Do you sell Avon? I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know. Let me go on to the next idea. But this is, even if you want to start with a bumper sticker or a sign in the window, do something on your car because it's a rolling billboard that you're already driving around with. Now this is a sign I had on my front yard. And of course I got this looking at other businesses. They have big signs, right? Now you can't tell by looking at this thing's like, oh, I don't know, 8 feet, 10 feet tall, right? Now, surprisingly enough, we spent about a couple grand having this built. It was probably maybe not even a year, 2 years in, we got a letter from the state of New Hampshire, and they said, you have to move the sign. It's against the law to have the sign there. And I didn't realize they owned the frontage of my house. So me and my mother said, how are we going to get some mileage out of moving that sign? So my big idea was, I came up with the idea, I changed the copy on it to say, Big Brother State of New Hampshire making me move my sign. Okay. I called all the newspapers in the state, told them that the big old bad government was making the little old Avon ladies move their sign. The next slide. This is a front page story on the Concord Monitor, which is our capital's newspaper, right? Think about this. It's got my name, the name of my company, my street address. It was practically an ad. Right? And it was free. I actually got more publicity from this article in the paper than I ever got from the sign itself. And you know, I ultimately had to move the sign, but lately, this has been a few years back, so lately I'm thinking, I might want to poke the bear again, the government, poke the bear again. So I put another sign out there, and next slide please. It's an actual bear. I decided I had a chainsaw carving guy from my town, bring a tree from my town, and do a chainsaw carving right on the lawn, and it says Avon on a little sign on top, and the bear in the front's holding one of our products, Skin So Soft. Now it's so funny because the chainsaw guy says to me, I told him the whole story about moving the sign. He says, you know, if they come after you and make you move that sign, I'm going to be really mad about that. I said, I know. He said, so will the guy that brought the tree, because we're from town. I said, I know. So we might be out there, that doesn't come after us yet, but they might, if I'm lucky. Okay, next slide, please. Now this one, this is our rural route box. Where I came up from this, with this idea is, I saw a rural route box for a carpenter shaped like a hammer. So I said, why couldn't I do one shaped like a lipstick? Right? So look around and see what other businesses are doing and see how you could do that with your direct sales business. So the first one was the lipstick one, the top one is the second one, and then the bottom one is the one we have now. You can do that as long as you don't have your phone number on it. They don't consider it a sign. I do. Okay, next slide, please. Now this is Adopt a Highway. You can do this too. Mm-hmm. Now you have to be in other places if you're going to do this because you notice it doesn't have your phone number. But this is one more way customers see you and your company name over and over. This is free. All you have to do is pick up your area like 4 times a year. Okay, it's one more way. And just to let you know this, I am a little bit catty. I see it says Lisa Wilbur, the Avon lady. That "the" is a tribute to the other 14. Next slide, please.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I love it.
Now this, I just wanted to show you a couple of really, really easy things. When you see other people doing stuff, see how you can do it too. All I did was take a delivery bag, I took a black marker and I wrote "ask me for" and brochure. I just lug that around with me. So when I'm waiting at Taekwondo or I'm waiting at the dentist, I'm always waiting because I have a daughter that's 11 and we do a million things. I just set the bag on the floor of the table with me. So I get a lot of business from people just coming up and asking me. That's what happens. And the button, I wear all the time. If I put real money on there, that matches what the lowest kit fee is. So right now for us, I think it's 25, so I would wear a 20 and a 5. When you're wearing real money on you, you'd be surprised how many people say something. You know what I mean? They're just so shocked. People look at you like you're wearing your bra on the outside or something. I love doing that one. Now the next slide, I'll let you take a picture of that one. The next slide is actually a bunch of ideas that you could try in your business. But you would be shocked to find out that these things that I've done locally, and I've been able to spread them out first in my little town, then in my little area, then in my state, then across the country. Avon themselves, which is a huge company, Avon themselves calls me the most recognized Avon representative in the world. And it's all over little stuff like this. You too can do this. This is so easy stuff. So the next slide, everybody got that one? Yay, the next slide is just the Winner in You is my company where I sell sales aids like the brochure box or brochure holders and stuff like that, okay? And you can sign up for my mailing list. I also have some buttons that we have at the table that are a souvenir of the meeting here. If you'd like one, run over and grab one afterwards on the break, because I don't have enough for every single person, so you're going to have to talk Lydia out of one. She's my 11-year-old with the purple hair. Okay. And the next slide is my last slide. I just wanted to let you know this is my house now, 5,500 square feet. And this has just been a wild ride that I went from being the lowest paid person that I knew at the convenience store to now one of the highest paid people that I know. And it's just been fabulous. And thank you for taking the time tonight. Thank you.
And I think that's a huge lesson, no matter where you are in your business, that we could all glean from her. You know what, guys? Are you guys ready to get really energized? Because we actually have a special guest this evening. Doug Rice is a motivator.